A seed can sprout in the richest soil, yet still grow twisted if poisoned by bitter roots. Tonight, we trace the garden of the human heart, where forgiveness blooms and grudges fester like weeds choking out all life. This is the story of how we learn to tend our inner landscape. Picture a 7-year-old in her grandmother's garden, carefully tending a patch of sunflowers she planted from seed. Each morning she waters them with a painted watering can, watching for the first green shoots to break through the dark earth. Then her brother, in a moment of careless rage, tramples through her garden. Stems snap, petals scatter like confetti in the wind. The child stands among the wreckage, tears streaming down dirt-stained cheeks. But here's what children understand instinctively that we forget as we age. Gardens can be replanted. Within hours, she's back on her knees, pressing new seeds into the soil. No contracts, no conditions, no elaborate negotiations. Just the simple recognition that growth requires fresh beginnings. Martin Luther King Jr. called forgiveness the final form of love. Children live this truth before they even have words for it. They forgive because holding on to hurt feels as unnatural as refusing to water their plants. Fast forward a decade. That same girl, now 17, tends a different kind of garden, the wild, untamed landscape of adolescent emotion. Her heart has become an overgrown thicket where every slight takes root and spreads like invasive ivy. A friend betrays her trust, sharing secrets that bloom into cruel gossip across social media. This time she doesn't reach for new seeds. Instead, she nurtures the thorns. She feeds her resentment with late-night conversations, watering her grudges until they grow thick and impenetrable. Her inner garden becomes a fortress of brambles, designed to keep pain out, but succeeding only in keeping love from getting in. She discovers what Isabel Holland meant when she said, "As long as you don't forgive, who and whatever it is will occupy rent-free space in your mind." The weeds of unforgiveness grow fast and choke out everything else. What was once fertile ground for joy becomes barren soil where nothing beautiful can take root. At 25, she faces the harsh reality every gardener must confront. Some plants must be cut back to grow properly. Her romantic relationship withers under the weight of accumulated grievances, small hurts that she's allowed to spread unchecked through every conversation. She begins to understand Lewis B. Smead's wisdom. To forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover that the prisoner was you. Her unforgiveness hasn't protected her. It's trapped her in a cage of her own making. But forgiveness at this stage feels clinical, strategic. She forgives because the alternative is relationship death. She prunes her resentments like a gardener cutting back overgrowth, not from love of the plant, but from fear of losing the harvest entirely. The forgiveness works, but it's surface-level pruning. The roots of bitterness run deep, and she hasn't yet learned to address what lies beneath the soil. Now 38, she faces the kind of betrayal that threatens to salt the earth of her heart entirely. A business partner's deception costs her years of work, her financial security, her faith in human decency. This isn't garden variety hurt that can be trimmed away with surface forgiveness. This requires excavation. She must dig down to the root system of her pain, understanding how years of small resentments have created the perfect environment for this devastating blow to take such deep hold. She learns that forgiveness isn't about the other person at all. It's about soil management. As Robert Muller observed, to forgive is the highest, most beautiful form of love. In return, you will receive untold peace and happiness. The process is grueling. Some days she makes progress, clearing away the choking weeds of bitterness. Other days, she discovers new root systems of hurt she didn't know existed. But slowly, methodically, she creates space for new growth. Not because her betrayer deserves it, because her garden does. At 72, she tends her final garden with the patience that only comes from decades of seasons. Her granddaughter, the same age she once was among those trampled sunflowers, comes to her in tears over a friendship gone wrong. "I hate her, Grandma. I'm never talking to her again." The old woman's hands, weathered from years of working in soil both literal and metaphorical, gently guide small fingers to plant new seeds. "Sweetheart," she says, "anger is like poison ivy. The longer you let it grow, the more it spreads. But forgiveness is like composting. It takes the broken, rotting things and turns them into food for new life." She has learned what George Herbert meant. He who cannot forgive breaks the bridge over which he himself must pass. Every grudge we nurture destroys the very pathways our future selves will need to find peace. Now she understands that forgiveness isn't weakness, it's master-level gardening. It's the skill that transforms waste into wonder, pain into purpose, endings into beginnings. She practices what Martin Luther King Jr. called a permanent attitude, the constant, gentle cultivation of grace. Not because people deserve it, but because gardens require it. Forgiveness doesn't change what was planted yesterday, but it determines what grows tomorrow. Here by the fire tonight, I want you to consider the garden of your own heart. What have you been cultivating in the dark soil of your daily thoughts? Are you a master gardener of grace, or are you unknowingly nurturing the very weeds that will strangle your future joy? The beautiful truth about gardens is this: it's never too late for a new growing season. Spring always returns to those brave enough to clear the ground and plant again. So tend your heart like the sacred garden it is. Choose what you'll water with your attention. Choose what you'll feed with your focus. Choose to be a gardener of forgiveness, and watch how quickly love learns to grow.